Welcome back, everyone. In this video, our goal is to demonstrate how the selection tool can be utilized when working with your Unreal Engine for landscape actors. All right, first things first, I am in my map sculpting level. You can be in any level that you have at least one landscape actor present. Of course, you got to be in your landscape tab up here. We are working in our manage tab right now, and along the left-hand side, we had skipped over how to use the selection tool previously. This one is going to be all about the selection tool, so make sure you got that guy selected. All right, as you can see, I can select one component at a time currently. That is what this orange highlighter is. I can change this in the settings, my brush settings, to be 2 by 2 components, for example, or 3 by 3, or however big I want. Now, just as a quick reminder here, if I select my landscape actor in my world outliner, my current landscape actor here consists of 64 components. That is, I'm going to change my brush size down to 1, 8 across, and 8 down, and of course 8 times 8 is 64. So I've currently got 64 components out here. Now, how do you select a component? Well, it is as simple as left clicking, and when you left click a component, it remains white like that. If I hold down Control, I can continue to individually select various components like this. Alternatively, I can multi-select components by simply left clicking and dragging. So now all of these components I have selected. Now to clear these selections, I can simply re-click them. So I'm going to click on this selected one right here. It is now unselected. I'm going to select this one right here. It is going to unselect it. So think of left click as select and your deselect. Alternatively, if I hold down Control, and I'm going to start holding down Control right here, and then just left clicking, and I'm holding down the left mouse button as well, I can unselect all those as well. And really, if I just left click and drag, that's going to select them all. I can left click and drag over them again to unselect them all. I don't even need to hold down Control. That was just a force of habit. So left click and drag to select, and left click and drag over the ones you had previously selected to deselect them. Now, if you have a whole bunch of components selected like this, you can also click this clear component selection button over in the panel over here to clear them all. Now, let's talk about some interesting things that you can do. Let me just select all these components right down here. Just left clicking and dragging. Once I've done that, over in the details panel under my landscape actor, I have some landscape component overrides that I can play with. Let's play with this overriding of the materials. And I'm going to click on this override material straight away up here. There's an override materials down here that we will experiment with in just a little bit. I'm going to override this with, let's do floor basic, this blue material like that. And now if I clear my component selection, you can see that all of these components have now been changed from using my landscape material to this override material. So maybe you got a use for this. Maybe you want this all to be water, some lake water, something like that. That is an easy way that you can make every component immediately be lake water. Now, I'm going to have to get a little sunlight on there in order to show that that is indeed lake water. Okay, now let's play with our override materials down here, different array elements. I'm going to click this 1, 2, and 3 times. Then I'm going to right click on this to expand all of these different array elements out here. And I am going to set different materials per LOD index. What does that mean? Well, let me set these in here first, and then I will bring in a visualizer to help demonstrate what we're doing here. And I'm going to set our first material here to be the lake water. Our second here I will set to be gold. And our third here, let's set that to be the basic floor. That sort of drab blue look. Now, I've got these LOD indexes of 0, 0, and 0. I'm going to set this to 0, 1, and 2. And now what you notice is that I've got different looks out here in my given landscape components. Let me undo this override material right up here so as to avoid any confusion. I'm going to set this one all the way back to, well, actually I'm going to set it back to default, which is none right there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the drab blue basic floor showing out here and then gold up here. Now watch what happens as I fly nice and close. Now what I've got going on is I can see lake water up close right here, gold right here, and then that drab basic floor right here. Why is this? Well, it all has to do with the current level of detail that each component is rendering at. If it is at a level of detail of 0, meaning the highest quality, it's going to show lake water. If it is at an LOD index of 1, which is the second highest quality here, it's going to show gold, and then 2 is the next level, which is basic floor. So we've got LOD level 0, this is in LOD level 1, and this is LOD level 2. Now if I go under lit mode, visualizers, landscape LODs, this is what we're going to see. Gray here is our lake water, that's LOD 0. This reddish area is LOD 1, our gold, and this green area is our LOD 2. Let me just switch this back off under the lit button. Visualizers, back to normal. All right, so that's kind of a fun thing to do. Another thing that you can do here with the selection tool is I'm going to select all these guys again by simply left-clicking and dragging. And now, over in my details panel, I'm going to set the rotation. Let's set the X rotation for all these selected components to be something like 35. And now what you see is you rotated all those components 35 degrees. Now what you could do is if I come over into sculpting tab with my sculpting tool active, you can actually sculpt it even when it's angled like this. I'm just holding down the left mouse button to sculpt, sculpt, sculpt away. I could hold down the shift button to sculpt it in the opposite direction by going down instead of up. And there's all kinds of cool effects that you could do. You could use a landscape actor here to be some sort of decorative item in your sky. You know, maybe you got the northern lights that you kind of got going on, and you've got ribbons of northern lights going through the sky simply by using a landscape actor that you have twisted and contorted and overridden materials, etc. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is the selection tool underneath the Manage tab of Landscape Editing Mode. That'll do it all for this one. We will see you in the next one.